on the virtual event.
Awesome. And you would all think that Christopher and I had this perfectly choreographed and rehearsed, right? Like, and he knows the amount of time that he needs to talk while I'm doing what I need to be doing in the background. And we are a well-oiled machine, right? Well, you're wrong. It's all smoke and mirrors, my friends. But we are true professionals here and we will not let you down. So I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you. Let me get the music stopped in the background there. My name is Brenda Meller and I am your host for today's monthly Friday VIP Job Seeker Office Hours. We do this the first Friday of the month, and I do it intentionally so that you remember when the first Friday comes around to come on and join us here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you just a lay of the land here first, some overall meeting etiquette rules and whatnot. And then I'm going to introduce our VIP All-Stars. And then we'll get into introducing yourself. Now, I usually say wait until about 5 minutes after the meeting has started to drop your introduction into the chat because there's still people that are joining right now. A minute or two ago, we had 37 attendees. Now I look up and it's 69 participants. So I would say wait until about 5 after and then start introducing yourself in chat. And I'll give you an introduction example in just a moment as well. All right, so I want to first say welcome. There may be a lot of newcomers that are coming to us today. Our very good friend, Nancy Steinberg, had an opportunity to mention my name to a reporter with the New York Post, and the article was published this week. So my group, as well as John Madigan's and Pat Romboletti, I believe I'm pronouncing her correctly. If not, I apologize, Pat. But the three of us, the groups were mentioned and links to register. So there may be some new folks that are joining us for the very first time. If you are, I want to say welcome. I am delighted to see you. My name is Brenda Meller. I know you might not be happy to be here because that might mean that you are in career transition, unemployed, underemployed. Maybe you're not happy at work and you're working but looking, but whatever the circumstances, you'd like to be any other place other than here. But I do want to let you know that we are a team here. And if you are in career transition, you may have experienced this thing that happens when you're working at an employer. You're part of a team and you're all in there and rolling up each other's sleeves, helping each other out, staying late, doing the things that need to be done to support each other, right? And then all of a sudden, you're not part of a team. You're tapped on the shoulder, brought into a conference room, brought on a Zoom call, a surprise phone call or meeting with HR, always on a Friday, right? Never on a Monday. And they tell you that we've had to do some adjustments, restructuring. They use all these fancy corporate words, and they're changing your life. They're upending your life essentially, and they're telling you you're no longer with the organization. And after the dust settles on that, you realize not only are you losing your job, but you've lost your team, the people that you were working with day after day. And I always find it very interesting how the people that you thought were like your best friends at work, your close friends at work, some of them were. They continue to be your friends for today, but some of those people turn their backs on you, right? And it's almost like they feel guilty for talking to people who are no longer working at the organization because they're still there. So I want to let you know if you feel like you've lost your team, I want you to look in the room right now because there's 75 other individuals who are now a part of your team. And I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself inside of chat and go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your specifically what we're looking for here, your targeted job title and your targeted geographic area, and then drop your LinkedIn URL into the chat as well. And I'm going to do an example of that right now. I am not looking, but if I were, what I would say is I'm seeking a CMO or marketing director position in Metro Detroit, and then put your LinkedIn URL. I'm hearing some rumblings that Zoom is rolling out the ability that we won't have to do the HTTPS and www, but for now, I would include that full URL with the HTTPS in it because then it's blue and it's clickable and we can invite each other to connect and we can start to build a network with fellow job seekers who are part of this group. So that's my introduction if I were to be job seeking. You don't need to say, hi, this is Brenda Meller because Zoom will already say Brenda Meller to everyone at the top. So do tell us your targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, where in the world are you located, and then what is your LinkedIn URL. It's a really great way of building your network and building your team again while you're in career transition. Speaking of team, I want to move into our team announcements, but before we do so, Julia, are you on the call? I think she is. Julia, are you with us right now?
Yeah, I'm
Julia?
here.
I just want to let me just stop the screen share for a second here and get into the gallery mode here. Julia has been working with me for I think a little over a year and a half now, and she is my rock star social media marketing intern, and she truly is a rock star. She graduated in December. She's been searching for a new job. She accepted a new position. That's the goal of the internship is to get them experience to get to a job and also to have a wonderful student or a recent alumni working with me. And her last day is actually today. This is her last call that she will be on with all of us. And I really just want to say in front of the group, Julia, thank you so much. You have been such a huge, huge asset to the company and to the calls and everything that we're doing here. So I just want to say thank you. And I want to give the group the opportunity to thank you in chat right now as well. So for those of you who've emailed back and forth or messaged with Julia. She's been my right-hand man, so my right-hand woman, if you will. So thank you, Julia, and we wish you the best of success. I want to show one quick thing Julia made for me as her thank you gift. It's actually like a Disney, it's Disney, right? Julia, it's like a Disney animation.
I think it was Fixer.
Yeah, okay, Pixar. So
Yeah.
this is me, and I've got little pie earrings on. And there's Pepper, my dog. She's my sweet little dog, and she's even got my Meller marketing coffee mug. So thank you so much, Julia. I just wanted to call out to you and thank you. So the goal I always say on these calls is to not see you all anymore. Now, Julia's been a part of my team, and the goal of not seeing her anymore is because she's going off and getting a full-time job. So please join me in a virtual round of applause for Julia, if you would be so kind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Okay, and then I would like to ask our all-stars if you could please use your raise hand function. And then I'm going to call on you in groups of two, and we'll pull you up on screen, give you the chance to introduce yourself. These are individuals who are fellow LinkedIn coaches, career strategists, resume writers, supporters, and we'll go in this order. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up Mindy. I'm going to spotlight Mindy, followed by Joey, and then I'll just start to pull you in order two at a time. So once the next person comes, that means you'll be on deck. Go ahead, Mindy, you can start us off.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So excited to be here with you. I am a career accelerator, and what that means is I help you accelerate your career in whatever stage you may be. If you are looking for a new job, if you're transitioning into a new career, if you are just here to learn and grow, that's what I love to help people do. I host a group called the Accelerators Job Search Group, and our next meeting is next Tuesday. You are all welcome to join. I'm going to put the link into the chat. We are so grateful to see Kenneth Lang today. He is looking great up and around, and we're so happy to see him. He is actually our presenter on Tuesday, and he's going to be telling us about how to use LinkedIn as your search engine. Forget about Google. Use LinkedIn as your search engine. If you want to figure out how to do that, you'll join us on Tuesday. It's 11 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to put the link into the chat right now, and hope to see you all there. Kenneth, glad to see you here. Joey, on to you.
Thanks, Minnie. Good morning, all. So my name is Joey Himmelfarb. I am an author, speaker, and depending on the day of the week and the time of the day, a coach and assistant to people who are looking for work. I'm born and bred in New York, so I'll be in your face if necessary, but for the most part, I'll just sit back quietly and listen to you all speak. But if I hear you going down a rat hole, I will chime in and try to bring you back into reality and have you look into the light. So glad to be here and happy to help out. Ken, up to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. A bit still getting used to things. What a difference 3 days makes. It's really, really great to be here today. Looking forward to this call. What an amazing, amazing turnout, Brenda, and you absolutely deserve it. I'm honored to be here as part of the group here. This Tuesday, also, in addition to speaking at Mindy's group, I'm going to have Ellie Amder, who's kind of the GOAT of career coaches and the like. He's going to be talking about 50 ways to hire, 50 reasons to hire someone over 50. And he actually did a test. He's 78 years old. He applied for jobs and he actually got jobs, real jobs, not by fudging his resume. And he's going to be talking about that and other things. But I want to thank everyone here. And I know Brenda's going to mention later on today about this wonderful event she has coming up. This is what we all do. We all support and help each other. And that's what Job Search is all about. So again, thank you guys very much for the support. Very happy to be here today. And Sue Griffey, on to you.
Thanks, Ken. I'm also known as Sue Mentors in the virtual world and the mentor with pom-poms. If you didn't see it earlier, I use them as much as I can to help us celebrate. Even when you don't think you have things to celebrate, we'll help you find them. I run a global mentoring practice. That means I work with people all around the world, primarily professionals in transition of some kind. So as Brenda brings you together and a team together, I'm able also to do that globally. What I bring is what everybody talking to you right now, all part of the All-Stars, brings: the joy and the love to work with you and help you benefit from what we can help you see that you don't always see in yourself. So look for us to be your cheerleaders. I'll be there with my pom-poms, and everybody else brings their fancy waves as well. On to you, Linda.
Thank you, Sue. I'm so excited to be here today. I know that you don't necessarily want to be here, but we're here to be your support system as you move through this process. I'm bringing experience from all sides of the recruiting desk. I've been a recruiter, I've been an executive search consultant, an HR business partner, a talent acquisition manager, a hiring manager, and a dedicated job search coach now for the past almost 7 years. And what I bring to the table is the ability not only to see things from all sides of the desk, but to tell you that you have the skills you need. And what I do is that I work with job seekers in all stages and all ages of their careers and help them to recognize, to leverage those skills that they have in order to find their next forever jobs. My goal is to help you not only find that next forever job, but really to hire your next boss, because I think that's really what we all can do. I also run a little group. It's a job search lunch and learn every Wednesday afternoon. I will put that in the chat as well. It's a free program. Please join us.
I was just going to say, did I miss anyone? And then I saw Jennifer Spainhauer raise her hand. So go ahead, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. I am struggling with a cough and cold today, so I apologize for my voice, but wanted to jump in here and join this amazing group. I'm getting to know these other all-stars. I was like, am I an all-star yet? I don't know if I truly am, but I'm getting there. Excuse me. I'm a career empowerment coach, and my specialty is working with individuals who really want to find their calling, and not just their next job, but what it is they were meant to do in this world. And I have a process I take people through for that. That's something that I've done myself. And many of these all-stars probably have also achieved that. And it is such a different world in life when you're doing the work you know you were meant to do. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this group, and I will silence myself probably and just listening in the rest of the call today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jen, for introducing yourself. Did I miss anyone else either? If I did, and if you, and I want to speak to what Jennifer was just saying too. I'm not sure if I'm an all-star. Yeah. If you are serving the job seeker community with career strategy, resume advice, negotiation, LinkedIn tips, those types of things, yes, you are an all-star. And please raise your hand if you're in the audience, and if I missed you, if you'd like to introduce yourself. Some of you I may have tapped, and I might say, come on to our Friday call sometime. But I always say, like, my memory's not like great. So when you come on the call, I might like see you in the audience, but forget that you're a job search strategist. So I don't want to overlook you. So if you are and you'd like to introduce yourself, please use the raise hand function. And just general meeting etiquette for our room. We do have a fairly large group, so please keep yourself muted for the duration of the call. And also for my all-stars, I've made you co-host. So as our group gets larger, every once in a while we get, some weird things happening. If you see anything weird happening, it's perfectly fine to mute or push the person out of the room. We want to keep things clean and professional and friendly at all times here in the group. And I also want to say, Kenneth, I am so glad that you are here with us today. You're a very dear friend, and I'm glad everything's okay and that you're here and that you've made some time to come out with us. So I wish I could give you a virtual hug, but at any rate, I'm glad that you are here with us. And what we're going to do next is we're going to start to move into some questions. So from all of you, if you do have a question, what I want you to do is I want you to go into chat and type in the word question in all caps, and then type out your question. Before we do that, I do need to drop. I started typing in reminder, join our private unlisted LinkedIn group. So let me get that cleared out. And if you're not already a member, I'll remind you, if you do go into our private unlisted LinkedIn group, we are often sharing links, resources, playbacks for these calls. If any of you come across job postings, you can put them in the group. If you come across other events, please feel free to share them. I'm not, the group isn't just about me. It's called VIP Job Seeker Resources by Meller Marketing. The Meller Marketing is just so that you know you're in the right place. It's my group. My business is Meller Marketing, but the VIP Job Seeker Resources, because I want it to be a group where you're sharing resources with each other. And by the way, you can also see who the group members are, and you can message each other. You can invite each other to connect on there. Okay, so question, what I want you to do is type in the word question in all caps, and I'm going to do a quick example. Do you like coffee? It's my standard question. That helps to make it a little bit easier for me to see your questions. If you do have a success story, I want you to type the word success in all caps in chat. A success story might be, I got a job, I got an interview, I'm negotiating, people are noticing me on LinkedIn. I did a profile audit with you, Brenda, and I want to talk about the results. Like whatever you want to talk about that's a result, a success on your step to getting a job, we want to hear about that. And then I'm also going to call on a few of you that are new. Okay, so if you're new, joining us for the very first time, and you feel comfortable introducing yourself, just type in new in all caps in chat. Okay, and I'll just call on a few of you for that. As I'm doing so, I just want to quickly look through the participant list to see who's with us here today. And I'll say good morning to each of you. Good morning, Ed, Al, Alan, Andre, Andrew, Angie, Eric, Ariel. Nice to see you. Beth, Bruce, Cheryl, Chris, Christine, Cynthia, Cyril, nice to see you again. Dana, David, David B, David M. We got two David M's in the house here today. Jean, nice to see you. Deborah, Debbie, Dr. Brian, Gwen, Jacqueline, Jamie, Janet, Jen, Jennifer B, Jennifer G, Jewel, Joan, nice to see you. Hey, Jen, Josephine, Julia, Julia and Julie. We actually have two Julie B and Julie F. Nice to see you both. Carl, Kate, Katie, Kelly, Laura, Mara, Marie. Isn't it fun when people say your name, by the way? Mary Beth, Maureen, Megan, Melinda, Merlinda, Mimi, Mindy. Oh, Mindy, I gotta make you a co-host. There we go. I was just thinking for a second, did Mindy introduce herself? Yes, she did. I remember hearing her. Moo, Nancy is with us here. Neil, Umi, Priya, Rich. We have two Riches here. Roseanne, Rosemary, Sandra, Scott, Seda. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing. Shauna, Sue, G, Sue, J. I need to make Sue Griffey a co-host as well. Let's see. I lost track. Susan, Tamara, another Susan, Tony, Valentina, Victor, Wayne, and Wendy. And part of the reason I do that, I know it's a long list because we've got a large group here today, but part of the reason I do this is I want you to know that we know that you are here. And I think when you're in career transition, it can be very isolating because remember earlier we talked about you're part of a team. You went to work, maybe you were working remotely even, but you still had interaction. And now when you're not part of a team, it's like, does anyone even know that I was here today? I want to say that, yes, I knew that you were here today. And I do this because when my son was in high school, he had one of his teachers in his senior year would say, look around the halls when you're walking around and pay attention to who's not talking to anybody. In the classroom, who doesn't ever talk to anybody in the classroom? Like, say hi to them. How's your day going? Like, say hi, give them a greeting. And it made me think about, we as adults can have this happen to us too. We might feel like we're alone and it can be very isolating. And you are riding an emotional roller coaster when you're in career transition. You might be relieved one day because you're not having to deal with the drama. The next day, you might be feeling devastated and worried about money, right? And then you might be up again because you got an interview, and then down again because they went in another direction, and up again because you found a group like this, and then down again because I didn't say hi to you. No, I'm just kidding. I will always say hi to you. But I want you to know that we know that you are here. And I want to encourage you to reach out to each other, to connect with each other, to help each other. And when you're putting your introductions into chat, don't just put your own, but I want you to pay attention to what other people are saying, because the real reason we're doing that is twofold. One, so you get in the practice of doing that on every single call that you go on, because you never know when you're going to be in a call and you introduce yourself in Zoom and someone says, oh my gosh, I just heard about a CPG position in Central New Jersey, and I just saw Dana that's looking for that role, right? So be sure to read those to help other people connect with fellow job seekers as well, because we are your team. Okay. This is your team that's going to be here to support you along the journey. And if there's someone who hasn't been on the call for a few months, reach out and say, hey, how's it going? How's the job search going? I noticed you weren't on today. How are things going? Because I want you to know you're not alone in this process and we are all here together for you. What a wonderful world it would be if we all knew that people were looking out for us, right? And supporting each other. And that's really why I keep doing these calls month after month after month. And it's my favorite call of the month, by the way. All right, with all of that said, we're going to do a couple of introductions first, and then we'll go into questions. When I bring up the questions, I will ask my fellow All-Stars to help with that. So for introductions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to please unmute yourself. And if you are comfortable having your video on, that would be great, because what we're going to do is we're going to put the spotlight on the screen for you and just answer for us this. First, how did you hear about the group? Second, what is your targeted job title? And third, what is your targeted geographic area? That's it. So it'll be quick and simple. How did you hear about us? What is your targeted job title? What is your targeted geographic area? Sound good? Okay, so Janet Alessia and then Julie Bruton. So Janet, could you unmute yourself? And Christopher, if you can find her to spotlight her first, feel free. But Janet, go ahead if you could.
Yes. My hair is a hot mess, but I'm going to do it anyway.
That's totally
I'm going to take, I just finished yoga. Okay. Oh, hi, everyone. Nice meeting you. I am based in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm looking for a job in the New York City metropolitan area. I'm very open to remote opportunities. My specialty is marketing and communications roles, in particular, internal communications and also head of marketing.
And how did you hear about us, did you say?
I think one of the many mentors that I'm working with, Ken Lang, I attend your sessions on Tuesday sometimes, and I believe you may have referenced this group.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we're glad that you found us, Janet, and thank you so much for joining and for putting your video on for us. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you for the invite to share, and you're very right. It's very nice to connect with everybody. It can be very isolating. So saying those hellos is very meaningful. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to see you here. Thank you. All right, Julie, go ahead and tell us, how did you hear about us, targeted job title and targeted geographic area?
I heard about you from, I work with transformation experts from the South Florida Agile Association, and Tina and Holly mentioned your name and told us about this wonderful program that you're having on the first Friday of every month. So our whole intern team at Transformation Experts is supposed to be joining us today. So everybody's supposed to be here. And I am in the Washington, D.C. area. I live in Silver Spring, Maryland, and I'm looking for a Scrum Master position, preferably remote.
Wonderful. Thank you, Julie, so much for joining us, and we're delighted that you're here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to go to our first question here, which is from Cyril, and Christopher and I are both trying to get myself coming on and off. He thinks, he found it first or I found it second. But Christopher, if you can find Cyril and do the spotlight on him, I'll let you take that part. And Cyril, while we're waiting to get you on the spotlight, we see that your question says, could LinkedIn have now limiting connecting with people to 2 per month? I can't seem to message or connect with any more people this month without going premium. Cyril, can you unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about what's happening to you right now?
Brenda, Cyril says he is unable to unmute, no mic or camera.
Okay, so I'm just going to take from what I'm seeing in the invitation here. And if Cyril were to be able to communicate, or Cyril, let me ask you this. Have you gotten any account restriction warnings lately from LinkedIn? Things saying, be sure to include an email address when inviting people to connect. That could be possibly they're flagging you saying, you're sending out too many invitations and people are clicking on I don't know, possibly. I have not heard that they're limiting connecting with people to 2 per month. My understanding is you can invite up to 100 people per week. I don't think that has changed. They are testing, giving the ability to, for free basic users, which most of us are, to only have, I believe it's 20 personalized invitations per month. I've also heard a couple people saying 10 personalized invitations per month. So I see Linda has her hand raised and Kenneth is shaking his head. So let's go with Linda first, and then I'll see if Kenneth wants to add anything to that.
My understanding is that they are limiting it to anywhere between 5 and 20. And there is no rhyme or reason as to why. I only have 5 personalized invitations a month.
Mm.
So I'm trying to make use of the open messaging that a lot of people have enabled. And that's another way of getting around it, as well as doing groups like this and inviting people this way, so that you've got those kinds of connections already. You're saying that you're open to connect. People are willing to see that that's there. So there are some ways around it. And I know that Ken has some great ideas and tools about how to use it.
Yeah, I've been suggesting to my clients at Leac Harrison that they should join groups that people are in that they want to be a part of, so that they can message people in the groups for free. Uh, again, there is no one right or wrong about this. The thing about LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is, as we all know, is a business, and I think what you really need to do is have as good a profile as possible, and maybe even if you put connect with me in the about section, that certainly can't hurt. But I've changed my methodology. I'd be curious now you feel, Brenda, about when people connect with me, they don't have a personalized invite. I'm much more supportive than I might have been before looking at their background, but I'm looking at a profile that makes sense as opposed to like a spam one. And again, we're all doing the best we can with what we have out there.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I am somewhat selective about who I connect with now, Kenneth, just because there's a 30,000 connection limit, and I'm trying to keep people in that would be a good fit for me at this point. Geographically, I tend to serve clients in the US, Canada, and the UK, and also within the industry. So if you're a job seeker in another country, but you're on this call and you mentioned that you were on this call, I'm likely to accept that invitation, as opposed to a salesperson from another country that I don't do business with.
You also have your VIP group, which I think
Mhm.
is an amazing opportunity for people in that group to get a hold of each other. And again, we all have that in common. And then even from there, connect with each other in that way, because we're all putting our LinkedIn URLs in the chat and the chat is blowing up. And it's a lot harder to do it that way. So that's another thing I'd recommend.
Yeah, good pointer. Thank you, Kenneth. All right. Cyril, hopefully that helped you out. And if there's any clarification you'd like to provide for us on the circumstances, please let us know. But again, it shouldn't be limiting you to the 2 connection requests per month. You should still be able to send up to 100 per week without a note, but it might be limiting you to either 10 or 20 with a note. And hopefully that helps you out. Do keep in mind that if you upgrade to premium, even if it's job seeker premium, they tend to give you 1 month for free. And then you can go month to month after that while you're in career transition. If you go to Job Seeker Premium, I think it's $30 a month. You can get unlimited invitations. So you have to do the cost benefit analysis of that. So hopefully that helps you. All right, let's do a couple more introductions and then we will go into some more questions in here. All right, Sue Johnson. I see that you say that you are new. We'll see if myself or Christopher can find you and spotlight you and bring you up on here. So we'll have Sue Johnson go first, and then I see Marie without a last name. Christopher, if you could help to find either of those individuals and spotlight them. All right, I think we have Sue Johnson on the spotlight first. So Sue, if you could please unmute yourself. First, tell us, how did you hear about us? Then tell us your targeted job title, and finally, your targeted geographic area.
There we go. Good morning. Yeah, I found you through Together Digital. And my target geographic area is Greater Chicago. But I'm happy to work fully remote if there's an opportunity that way. Although I would prefer a hybrid situation. I'm a branding person and a package design person, and I'm looking for either associate director position or senior designer position, because I think those probably will be where I will end up getting hired versus a director position.
Good to know. Well, thank you, Sue, for introducing yourself. Glad you saw my note from Together Digital, and welcome to the group.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Marie. I think I found the right Marie. Could you please tell us again, how did you hear about the group? What is your targeted job title and your targeted geographic area?
Great. Hi, good morning, Brenda. This is a great group. I just wanted to say I'm excited to be here. I was on LinkedIn recently and I noticed John Madigan, who's in my network, sharing, I think, the wonderful news that your program got shared, it got posted in an article. So I saw that and I checked it out, and I've been watching you on YouTube, and I decided to jump on, and I'm really glad I did. I am located in the Central Connecticut area, in the Hartford area. And I kind of am in a pivotal mode right now. I've been in marketing and communications most of my career, and I was looking to pivot over into internal communications. So that is an option. And I'm also looking at copywriting positions because I have a master's later in life that I got in journalism. And I really can't say that I've 100% devoted my energy to really showcasing the writing skills that I have. So I'm open and flexible about possibly changing out of my leadership roles in marketing and communications into a more mid-level position to really step up my writing.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Marie, for introducing yourself. We're glad that you found us, and please make sure that you've dropped your introduction into chat, and be sure to connect with fellow job seekers here.
Great, thank
All right.
you.
Great. Okay, so let me remove that spotlight. Okay, so I'm scrolling through chat and I'm seeing some things that weren't worded with the question, but they were kind of like conversational questions. One is the Zoom link that was emailed to you this morning new because you got the 2023 link saved on your computer? Julia, can you help me to remember this? I'm pretty sure we decided we could keep the same Zoom link for 2024. Are you able to unmute to verify that?
Yeah, yeah,
And it is the same Zoom link?
yeah.
Okay, good. So we're going to keep the same Zoom link for 2024. So the good news is if you already have it on your calendar as a recurring meeting, you won't need to register again. So that's the good news. Now I am hearing from a few people lately messaging me on LinkedIn, emailing me, hey, I couldn't get in, I couldn't find the link. And then when they register again, the email's not being sent to you because you already received it the first time. So what I'm going to start doing every month is just like I did this morning. I'll do an email out to everyone who has registered, and I'll remind you of the Zoom link to join. I'll remind you that we do have a capacity of 100 on the call, so you have to be one of the first 100 to get in. And then if you're not able to, you can go to the YouTube channel to watch the playback. So I will do that every month just to help you. And I'll remind you, we're going to open up the Zoom at 9:45. So you can always open it up at 9:45, go grab your coffee, do your stuff, and then come back on when we start at 10. Totally fine to do that. Okay, let's see. There's another comment or question. And as I'm looking for additional comments and questions, I want to remind you, any questions you have, please drop them into chat. The question might be about, can you look at my profile, give me some pointers? It might be, how do I know if my resume needs a refresh? It can be, should I connect with recruiters? I'm just giving a couple examples. So any questions that you have, we've got a great team of all-stars here to help to answer questions. What if, what if I'm feeling stuck in my job search and I can't get out of this hole, whatever those questions are, we have people here to help you. So don't be shy. Make sure you put question in all caps. Type in your full question. That way, if we can't get to you, others can see and respond to those questions in there. Okay, I'm going to continue to look through here. And if I see either questions or people saying new, I will ask you to unmute yourself. All right, Jewel has a question. Jewel, if you're able to unmute yourself, and Christopher, if you can find Jewel James, please spotlight.
Hi.
Hey, Jewel, how are you?
I'm great. Sorry, I'm driving.
Oh, okay. Are you hands? I would prefer to have video off if you are operating a motor vehicle and driving right now.
Oh, honey.
Please turn your video off. I will not do that on my call. I will not put you in jeopardy because your human nature, you're going to be inclined to want to look down, and it takes just a split second, Jewel. I'm looking out for your safety. Just a split second. You look down at the camera at the same time somebody pulls in front of you.
Oh, I definitely know. I was in a horrible motorcycle accident back in 2020. I understand 100%.
Okay, and if you're able to pull over, but if not, we're just going to talk here. So you say you have decades of experience, no official academic degree. How do I get around those preferred requirements? All stars, we're putting out the bat light to all of you right now. You know, we're putting the beaming the bat light out to the sky, the Batman light, if you will. Jewel has decades of experience, but no official academic degree. How does she get around those preferred requirements? All right, we got Joey, then we got Kenneth, and we got Linda. So Joey, why don't you go first?
So I'm not sure, Joel, how to get around those requirements, but just let me just suggest this to you, if I may. Some of the some of the smartest people I know never went to college, and some of the dumbest people I know are PhDs. So
100%.
all I'm saying is that you don't have to be a college educated individual to be intelligent. And I don't know how to get around those requirements. I think the best way for you is to get in to talk to some of these people. How you get there is going to be a challenge for sure, but somebody who has years of experience, I'm sure could figure out a way. But don't let your lack of a college degree keep you from pursuing what you want to do.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, Kenneth?
I would take a little different tact, if you will. First of all, look, job specs sometimes are based on what people have had in the past, which is no guarantee they actually need them, but it's what someone thinks they need. It's like maybe someone has to be a CPA because it was thought that was needed before, but it's not. So you definitely want to have a conversation, but think about adding training and development and any coursework you've done. It may not be a degree per se, but you've done something over time. And you may not be able to get past an online system which says you have to have or require a college degree, but there's so many other ways to go there. I think you have to look at it from the perspective that they don't know what they want sometimes when they want to hire people. No, I'm not saying it to be facetious. I'm saying it because it's absolutely true. Sometimes
I understand, yeah.
So I would look at it that way. You have your skills, and you could ask not pointedly, but just say, why do what is the reasoning behind having a college degree, or maybe pivot and maybe turn it around in such a way that this is what I've done in spite of that. It's because we have life challenges, all of us. There's things that happen for all different reasons. So that's kind of my take. Yep.
Yeah. And I follow you, so I love your comments, what you post, your interaction is awesome. So what I have done, Kenneth, is when I see that academic requirement in my cover letter, when I'm making that introduction or an in-mail, those kind of things, I state, although I don't have that academic piece, I have that hands-on value, right? Which is just as important or more important for that hands-on. So that's kind of how I'm trying to get around it. It's not working. I get zero feedback from any of the positions I've been rejected from. So it's like,
Can I jump in, Jewel?
I'm at a loss. Yes,
Jewel,
ma'am.
let me jump in here too, because I think a lot of us that are job seeking do the same thing. We rely upon the job board and the job application process being the only way of getting into the company. And I want to encourage all of you, not just Jewel, but all of you, if it's a job that you're seriously interested in addition to applying through the process, you have to do that. You can't skip that process. But in addition to that, go to their company page on LinkedIn and click on follow. Make sure that you're following the company page. Scroll down to their about section. And I'll remind you, this is in the playback. So if you want to watch this again later, to look at these tips again later, you can. Julia, could you please drop the playback link into the chat as well as the playlist for all of the sessions here. So go to the company page, follow the company page. Do that first. Second, go to the company page in the about section. See if they have a button that say, let recruiters know you're interested in positions at this company. If there's that button, click on it because it helps to flag you as a potential candidate. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at employees at the company, find somebody that would work in the department in which you are applying for, and maybe find 2 to 3 people and invite them to connect. In the initial invitation, don't say I'm applying for a job at your company. Instead, say something like this. Hi, Jewel. We haven't met yet, but I see that we're both in Metro Detroit and we share several common connections in the engineering industry or whatever the company's industry is. Let's connect on LinkedIn. After they accept, you message them and say, thanks for accepting my invitation, Jewel. Let me know if I can ever help leverage my LinkedIn network for you. By the way, I see that you work at XYZ company and I'm applying for a position there. what do you think of the culture there? A soft question. We're not going to say, can you take my resume over to the recruiter? We're not going to do that because everybody's trying to do that. But you're instead going to say, can you tell me anything about the hiring process there? Or what do you think of the culture? A soft question, if you will. So that's the third thing. Follow the company page, notify recruiters you're interested if they have that button, make connections with a couple of employees. The fourth thing you're going to do is on the company page once a week, find a post and add a thoughtful comment to it. Because you know what's going to happen is you're going to start to become familiar. They're going to go, Brenda Meller, where have we heard that name before? Oh, that's right. She added a thoughtful comment. And oh, that's right. I think she connected with me. So you're starting to build up some visibility in your referral network for you. I'm going to move on to Linda next, and then we're going to move off and into our next question, if that would be okay. So Linda, go ahead.
So just a couple of quick things. We're finding that more and more employers are actually not paying attention to whether or not you have that degree. We've got some states that have actually put some requirements in place that for state-related jobs, they can no longer list a degree requirement for most jobs. I think actually Michigan is one of them that has just put that in place, and there are several others as well. But employers are telling us that your experience is just as important in many cases as the degree itself for most jobs. So my feeling is, don't mention the fact that you don't have the degree. Never talk about what you don't have. Always talk about what you do, and highlight the experience that you have that matches that job rather than talking about things you don't have.
Excellent.
Next question.
Going back to Kenneth real quick, Brenda. Kenneth, you mentioned classes, certifications, maybe that were not, in a university per se, and I take as many courses as I can get done on the LinkedIn piece. So I am doing that part of it. And Brenda, I think I actually reached out to you for a network connection with a company. Do you know this person? Is it just a connection? Those kind of things. So I know it just says keep pounding the pavement. And as a recruiter, that's what we got to do when we're reaching out, trying to fill roles. So I appreciate everybody.
Wonderful. And you said you reached out to me. Did I respond to you? Because I always try to. And if I didn't,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Good.
Absolutely.
I feel so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. You did. No worries at all.
Okay, good. All right. I'm going to keep us moving along if that would be okay. Our next question comes in from Julie Bruton, who says, Julie, you say, are you not getting any interviews even though you've applied to many jobs? What can I do? Okay, All Stars, the Batman light is out in the universe again for you here. Applying to a lot of jobs, and Julie is not getting many interviews coming in. So to start us off, I want to just share that what I have heard, Julie, generally speaking, some of these things come down to troubleshooting, right? And what I'm hearing initially is if you're applying to a lot of jobs that you're qualified for, I think it's an important designation. You're qualified for these jobs, you're applying and you're not getting any callbacks or any interviews. It could be an issue with the resume. So I would start with, when was the last time you've had your resume reviewed by a resume professional? And I know a lot of us are in career transition. We don't have a lot of money to spend. So if you have it, it's worth outsourcing it. And I always say work with somebody, who's a small business owner or independent consultant. We have a few of them on the call here. If you can't afford that, I would say look at your college or university where you attended. A lot of times they will provide resume review for free. Some may make you join the Alumni Association and get a resume review for free, but they want to see you be successful as a student, as an alumni. So reach out to them. You need a second pair of eyes and somebody who is a certified or at least in the space of resumes looking at your resume, because you will look at it and go, my resume is good. And it's like you're going like this looking at your resume because you can't not see what we are seeing. All right. I've got my all-stars all riled up here. So we're going to go Joey, Kenneth, and Mindy.
So Julie, building upon what Brenda had said earlier, your network is so valuable. It's the only one that you have that nobody else does. And the chances are great that if you looked at your career and the people you worked for, I would bet you dollars to donuts that the person who became your manager, you did not know them unless somebody introduced you to them. So if that worked then, there's no reason it can't work now. So you say you've been applying to jobs and not getting interviews. Are you applying to the black hole, Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter.com, or are you having friends walk your resume into somebody else's office and saying, please call Julie or talk to Julie, because that's going to separate you from the 500 other applicants that are applying to the black hole. So if you're not using your network, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, I only did that with one, and that was my niece who worked at the company that I was applying for, and it still didn't go through.
You got to find, you either need more nieces or more friends. I know you have a network. Julie, I know you have a Rolodex. There are people you haven't spoken to in a really long time. Pick up a phone, reintroduce yourself, start off where you left off, and who knows where those connections will take you.
I mean, I would also suggest joining networking groups if you can find them where you are. There's a lot of us that look at resumes for free, but actually the best people to look at resumes sometimes are your fellow job seekers, because they're the ones that are going through the process too. And I can't tell you how many times I've had a conversation with someone and they've told me what they do, and I say, why isn't it on your resume? Telling it to me does no good. You want to tell it to everyone else, and they don't think that way. So sometimes you need that other set of eyes, because I think a lot of people that are job seekers take a lot of their accomplishments for granted. And I think that's just the human nature. Right? The other challenge is when people are out of work now, they throw what they've done together in the last job, and they don't go into the same detail they've gone in other jobs. I think sometimes you just need to have someone else look at it, whether it's a family member or a friend or someone like yourself. Join a job search group, find a job search buddy. Everyone on this call, I'm sure, would be willing and very able to help you. Just brainstorm. That's what this group is all about. We're all here to help and support you.
Yeah, and I've been putting it through AI, and I've also spoken to other people who said, with every job search, I have to put my resume through Chat GPT, so just so I can hit all the bells and whistles that the company is targeting.
But they say that in large part because that's part of selling the business and selling the reasoning. Don't be so caught up in all the comments and publicity that's out there. That's not to say that it doesn't make sense. And I see libraries, again, another possibility, go to a library, look at courses here. But honestly, post on LinkedIn and ask a question. You have lots and millions of people on this platform. Do not be afraid to post the question. And you can put it, as Brenda likes to say, I have a friend too, instead of being you. I mean, it's just these little tricks.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so Julie, just to add my 2 cents to what everyone else is saying, network, absolutely, is number one. I think the stats are out there. It's like over 85% of new jobs are found through someone you know. And a lot of them are second degree connections, not necessarily first degree connections, number one. Number two, this is not a time to be modest. This is the time to be shouting from the rooftops everything you've accomplished. And I would caution you against relying too much on ChatGPT for your resume. You've got to personalize it, because you don't want to look like everyone else who's applying for the exact same job. Everyone is putting the job description into ChatGPT. And so you're coming out with a lot of very similar looking resumes. You have your own unique experience. And I will tell you a very quick story. I was working with a client yesterday who's having a very similar problem. He is not getting any interviews at all. We looked at his resume, and we went into the jobs in LinkedIn, and I showed him how to do a correct job search. And you're not going to believe this, but the first job that came up for him is a church that he is so active in that is looking for a junior marketing director, like someone to help the. And he said, oh my God, that church is right down the block from me. I had no idea they were looking, but he didn't know how to do the search correctly, right? He was looking for something completely different. And when we did it together, it popped up like this. And then all of a sudden, everything started to make sense for him. That we had to make sure that your LinkedIn profile looks great, that it is aligned with your resume. You're not having 2 different things out there, which is another problem that he had. But get someone who knows what they're looking at to work with you and see how you can look for the right jobs and find the right things. So don't be shy, reach out. We're all here to help. And it's a journey. It's not.
It is. And I paid a resume writer, and they were just awful.
That a lot.
So then I was really, I shied away from hiring anybody to review my resume. and give me tips because
But
they
again,
just
it's
gave me
not,
like a
Julie,
blank
it's not just the
template.
resume. It's everything. Resume is one piece of your marketing materials. LinkedIn profile is equally, if not more important than the resume. So it's a whole process. But
Okay,
good
thank
job.
you.
You
Julie
know, I'm
just
happy
said
to
too
talk to
is,
you.
Julie, you're not happy with the resume, because I think if you were to have paid a resume writer and you were happy with it, like if it feels like it's a good resume that, but if you're not happy with it, do they have a revision clause in the contract? Like, can you go back and tell them what you weren't happy with, it's not getting you results, and request a revision? That's one thing to think about. But also there's a lot of other people that can give it another once over, maybe not charging you. So there might even be some people in the group here that could do that for you as well. Okay.
I would really appreciate that. I would
Okay.
really appreciate that.
Okay. So
Thank
go
you
ahead
so
into
much.
chat for those that are on the call today. If you have some experience with looking at resumes, if you'd like to give Julie's resume a once over. In the
Thank
interest
you.
of time, I'm going to keep us moving here, and I want to share my screen again here. I want to just find in the slide deck here couple things I want to talk about. Let me see how I can do this. I don't know if I can close this panel down. That makes it a little bit larger. We'll do that. Okay, so first thing, I want to remind all of you, even before that, I'm going to say this. If you stay on till the end of the call today, I'm doing a drawing for 4 free job seeker profile mini audits. You do have to be present to win. And if you are interested in that, I want you to go in the chat right now and just type in the word audit, AUDIT, just like I did. I'll be drawing 4 people, and I'm going to create a wheel of names and do the drawing at the end of the call. So must be present to win for that. Okay. As you are putting your names into chat for that, I want to talk about this upcoming event, which is going to be in about 2 weeks. It is called a WBL Live-a-thon, and WBL means working but looking. It's for individuals who are working, but if you're out of work, you are more than welcome to attend. It's not like we're going to check your ID at the door and say, nope, you can't come in. This is a free live virtual event. I have been doing these as LinkedIn Live-a-thons in the past, posting these on LinkedIn and broadcasting it on YouTube as well. And unfortunately, I don't know what the deal was, but LinkedIn, I got an account restriction in the middle of my last LinkedIn Live-a-thon. Like me, I teach people how to use LinkedIn the right way for a living, and my account got restricted. And we had a couple other technical issues, and I decided, you know what? It's not worth the technical hiccups. And also because the people we're trying to reach for this event are working but looking, they may not want people to know they're on LinkedIn and using this event. So we're making it a private event. It will be hosted on StreamYard. If you are interested in registering, you'll have to go to mellermarketing.com/WBL24. The WBL stands for working but looking. I'm making it all very coded. So if you happen to add it on your calendar and your coworker sees, what's this WBL? They're not going to know what it is. Okay. So I'm looking out for all of you. People will be viewing only. You won't be, there's no videos on for participants. Our excellent lineup of speakers and panelists will be on a variety of different topics. You can see some of the names here in the group. Kenneth Lang will be speaking, Linda Brubaker, Jennifer Spainhauer, and the variety of other experts will be joining us as well. I encourage you to go to the webpage and you can see the topics. And again, these events are not just for people that are working but looking, but really anybody who's looking for a new job in 2024. I personally like to look for topics that can speak to those of us who are experience rich. I like that term, experience rich. That means you're age 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, you're looking for a new job. You are experience rich. I don't like to say an older candidate or mature candidate or anything. I like to say experience rich because you have a lot of great experiences. And for each of my speakers and panelists, when I handpicked them, I said, do you cater to people who are in looking for a new job, working but looking, and experience rich? So I made sure that I've hand selected people for that very reason to come to the event. We're also hosting this on StreamYard, and it's the very first time I'm doing this on StreamYard. So we're going to be doing a practice session immediately. Well, actually, 11:30 a.m. today. We're going to be doing a practice session, and we'd love to have some people in the audience joining us because I need to see what that audience experience looks like. And I need to see when you come in, I believe StreamYard asks you for your name. And I want to know if you can rename yourself after you come in. So I just put the link inside chat, streamyard.com/watch/ and there's a bunch of codes. So you got to look at it. Just go at 11:30 to that link, and then we'll start the practice session. We're not going to deliver all the sessions. It's going to be like 30 minutes tops, where we're just testing the technology. A couple of the speakers will be joining me for that today. So if you're able to, and you'd like to help me out, it would be great to come on and join us at 11:30 for that today. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen share here. And what I need to do right now is I need to build up my wheel of names. While I am doing that, I'm going to ask each of our all-stars if you could share with us something you're working on right now, maybe an upcoming event, something, final reminders you'd like to offer to those job seekers that are on the call here today. So Mindy, I'm going to call on you first. And Mindy, if you could be so kind as to call on the next all-star, because I need to get this wheel built in the background, and I'll let you guys do this for a few minutes. Is that okay?
Sure. Thanks, Brenda. What's coming up? So I told you about Kenneth Lang coming to speak on Tuesday. You should all join the Accelerator group, which is a free private LinkedIn community of job seekers. We have a lot of resources in there, and just connect with me and I'll be happy to invite you into that group. Every month I have a guest speaker. And so if you know someone who is a great speaker who you think would be awesome to talk to the accelerators, shoot me a text, shoot me a DM and let me know. And I'm happy to introduce them to the accelerator group. And that's what I'm working on right now. So I'm going to pass over to Sue Griffey. And thanks, Joan. Mindy's group is great. That's right. And there are a lot of people on this call that join. So absolutely feel free. Never a charge, of course. Sue, you're up.
Thanks, Mindy. Yes, Mindy's group is great. All the groups that people offer, what Ken does, Linda, others I'm forgetting who's on today, Joey, all offer a group or an individual chat. Two things I want to remind you about, and this is for the person who asked a comment about not getting interviews. It is a good idea to check your resume and have someone else check it. My advice for those who know me, have heard me say this, is make sure you've excavated your evidence and you're showing it. Demonstrate your results as contributing to the outcomes of the unit, the department, the org you're in, wherever you can. And I have plenty of things I've done, including a LinkedIn Live-a-thon for Brenda's Live-a-thon last May that I can point you to. Let me know, reach out to me if you want the link for that. The second thing is, I know that there's a love-hate relationship, mostly hate I hear, about cover letters. But the advantage to cover letters, preparing one helps you reorganize your thinking away from the reverse chron order of I did this before, to what are the 3 or 4 things that make me absolutely greatly suited for a combination of the top 10 preferred and required qualifications. So that's how I think that you can best help yourself, to take a look at yourself and whether you're telling the story that is evidence-based and results-oriented. And on to Joey, I see next.
Thank you, Sue. Appreciate it. So my advice to the folks who are on this call is not so much LinkedIn related. It's more personal related. And that is that if you're down in the dumps and you're walking around with your chin on your chest and your tail between your legs and you're looking for work, that's going to be a challenge. And so what I'd suggest, if you're feeling down in the dumps, take a break from the job search, walk away, not for a week, not even for a day, maybe for an hour. Just go out, take a walk, take a nap, listen to some music, do some gardening, do something totally different from and separate from the job search. You need to recharge. You need to be positive and upbeat. I've said this 1,000 times. If you heard it, I apologize, but I will say this till I'm blue in the face. There is no guarantee if you look and are positive and act positive, that positive things will happen. There's no guarantee positive will happen. I guarantee if you're negative, chances are great that bad things will occur. So if you're looking for work, recharge your batteries, walk away from your laptop, put your phone away, go outside, breathe some fresh air, look at the trees, maybe play with your grandchildren, and then come back recharged. That's my 2 cents. I don't know who's next. Ken, you're up.
Yes. Well, I want to welcome everyone, new and old people today. Not old in that sense. Let's just call them alumni. I want to thank everyone here for being here. My next event is on February 6th with Ellie Amdor, who's written 1,000 career columns and then some. If I could give one piece of advice, it is keep asking for help. Do not be afraid to put yourself out there. I would recommend when you ask for help, you be as specific as possible, only because it helps us help you. Without Brenda, we would not have gotten together and met each other. This is an amazing network, and I recommend that everyone stay in touch. And when you connect with me and you don't have enough of the personalized connection requests, no worries. We are all here to help. I have a link on my profile where you can have 15 minutes and have a conversation. But I want to thank everyone here for coming today and hanging out, and look forward to seeing you again really soon. And I don't know if the groundhog saw a shadow or not. I don't think the groundhog ever does anymore. But we'll give that a shot. And I guess that the next one is Sue, maybe. Sue, how can you take it away?
I already went. I think
Oh,
it's
I'm
Linda.
sorry. I'm sorry, Linda, go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Hi, everybody. This is an example of a technical issue and trying to work around it. My internet connection apparently is very unstable, so I've been coming in and out, hoping you can hear me. Happy to help everybody. I think earlier in the chat, I included a link so that if anybody wants a quick conversation, please reach out. I'm happy to talk with anybody at any time. I've also got that free weekly job seekers lunch and learn group at 11 o'clock every Wednesday Central Time. It's a free program. It's on Zoom. It's a very interactive kind of a session. And this next week, what we're going to be talking about is just an open Q&A session. If you have questions about job search, we'll try and get them answered. Join us anytime. And I actually did remember to put in the right link into the chat. Join us anytime. I'm happy to help. Who's next? I can't see it because I'm on my phone.
Is that link, is that where we join at 11:30? Because I just registered, but I don't see the one for 11:30.
So the StreamYard is the link that you'll be joining at 11:30. I don't think you need to register. I think you just click on that link at 11:30 to join.
Absolutely. And greetings all, Christopher Johnson. And what I do, I host a monthly office hours for Zoom. We had a fun session last evening where we went over AI and breakout rooms. And if you have questions about Zoom, I'll put the link in the chat so that you can join me on the first Thursday of each month.
Okay. Thank you all first of all, thank you, Christopher, for helping to kick us off this morning. I'm always feeling very lucky when we have Christopher in the room with us. Thank you again to Julia. And I'm so sad to be having her on the call for the very last time. You've been such an asset to all of us, but I'm very, very excited for you starting your new job. Thank you to the All-Stars for helping to facilitate the call today, for helping to answer questions, for being the wonderful people that you are and the supporters of this amazing community. And thank you to all of you for staying on for the full duration of our 1-hour call today. Before we do the prize drawing, I want to remind everyone that you are not alone in this process, and you can also to help others and help to pay it forward. If you ever see someone on LinkedIn talking about in a post that they're looking for a new job, I want to remind you that you can click on or actually go into their comments and just say, hey, at Brenda Meller may have some resources that can help you. Because what I'll do then is I'll go into the comments. It's kind of like when you say that, it's kind of like you're winking to me, and I'll wink back, and I'll go into the comments and I'll drop the link for today's Friday Job Seeker office hours for the next month's call to help to bring them into the group and into our amazing community that we have here. So again, if you see somebody talking about the fact that they're struggling with their job search, go into their comments of that post and tag me in at Brenda Meller using the @ sign, and then I'll wink back to you and I'll put the link for today's call. All right, must be present to win. This website is amazing. It's called Wheel of Names. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 4 individuals, must be present to win. So if you dropped off, you're not on, and I call your name, the prize is going to go to someone else. And what we'll do is a 15-minute phone call. I'll pull your LinkedIn profile up on screen. I'll ask you a couple questions about your targeted job title, targeted geographic area, and then I'll give you about a 10-minute session with pointers on your profile. Now, last month we did this. I drew 4 names and I said you have to book the session before today's call. Only 2 of the 4 people did this. So I want to remind you that don't take this if you're not going to use it, okay? And I also want to remind you that in exchange for you getting this free feedback, you will be allowing me to record this and it will go public on YouTube. And I'll also be creating a podcast in the very near future. It's going to be called Experience Rich, no surprise, and it will be LinkedIn job search tips essentially. But that interview will go inside the podcast. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to draw 6 names. The first 4 will be getting the first 4 dibs. If you don't book your call by the end of, I'll say by Friday of next week, I'm going to extend that out to 2 other people instead, because I really do want to try to get 4 calls booked every month. Okay. So we're going to draw the 4 winners first, and I'm going to pick 2 alternates here today. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Just like in Vegas, I hold my hands up so you can tell I'm not cheating and clicking on the keyboard and picking my favorite person from the group. All right. First name we have Deborah L. So I'm going to ask Julia if you could drop into the comments my emails for Deborah to send me an email so I can send her instructions on how booking that. So congratulations, Deborah. I'm going to do a quick look to make sure that Deborah is still on here.
I'm
She is,
here.
Deborah. Okay, awesome. Okay, congratulations, Deborah. All right, we're going to remove her name. We're going to do this again. My hands go up again so you can see. Now I've got to put my hands down to write something. But you can see my hands are nowhere near the keyboard at any point. Sandra R. is our second person, and I know Sandra, so I will make sure to give you those instructions. Congratulations. I do want to make sure she's on. Let me just make sure. Yep, she's on. Awesome. Congratulations, Sandra. We'll remove her. Third person. We're going to do 4 winners and 2 alternates. Okay. Oh, sorry. My hands are up again. Roseanne. Is Roseanne on? Roseanne, you are on. So Roseanne, if you could please email me, brenda@mellermarketing.com, and I'll give you the instructions on that. Remove. And our 4th winner, here we go. 4th and final. Kind of makes you dizzy a little bit, doesn't it? All those pink and orange and yellow pass in there. Okay, Sade, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but let me see if you are on the call. Excellent. Sade
Right
Jackson.
here. It's pronounced Sadie.
Sadie, thank you. Okay, so those were our 4 winners, Deborah, Sandra, Roseanne, and Sadie. And now I'm going to pull for 2 alternates. So if for any reason those 4 individuals haven't booked by next week, you will be the next 2 up on here. So you, the next 2 again are for alternates. In case those 4 individuals don't book, then I will reach out to you. So alternate number 1, this is like the Miss America runner-up, if you will. Josephine. Is Josephine on the call here? Let's double check that she's here. And as long as she is, then you will be an alternate. Josephine, awesome. You are an alternate. Again, if you could
I'm
email
here.
me. Thank you. If you could
Yay.
email me at Brenda@mellermarketing.com, and I'll give you those instructions. And then my second alternate here will be, okay, it looks like it's going to be Carl K. Carl, are you still on the session? I'm looking inside the participant view, but Carl, if you can hear me, Carl Cooter, I believe you are on here. So awesome. So Carl, you will also be an alternate if you can email me at brenda@mellermarketing.com, and I'll give you those instructions for them. Okay, so in closing, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I'm delighted to have seen you. My goal is to not see you, not because I don't like you, but because I want you to get back to work. But until then, I want to remind you, we'll be here for you the first Friday every month from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to stop the recording in just a moment, but I'll keep the Zoom open for about 5 minutes. If you would like to download the chat, you'll have the opportunity to do so. Click in your chat panel either on the bottom or at the top. Look for the 3 dots. Zoom is moving things around now. So it might be at the top of your panel, might be at the bottom of your panel. Click on the 3 dots and you can click on Save Chat. And again, I look forward to seeing if you can come on our StreamYard session with us. We'll be on at about 11:30, so in about 20 minutes here, okay? With that said, thank you all. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy, and we will see you in about a month. Take care. Thank you.
Where do you save it?